Hey guys, Patrick here. Today we'll take a look at the Sega Saturn and Genesis controllers by Retrobit. Released in November 2019, these controllers have been teased for quite a while. While the wired controllers had some issues, pointed out by us and many others, the new wireless controllers feel they rectified a lot of the problems, with a more solid D-pad and shoulder buttons. Let's start off by taking a look at the 2.4 GHz Wireless Saturn controller. The box these come in are very nice, having that classic Sega Saturn controller box look that an original US pad would have, and ditto for our European neighbors too. On the inside though is where it gets really interesting. Each 2.4 GHz wireless controller comes with a translucent case, and they look super sleek. Nice. Inside of the case itself is the controller, Sega Saturn and USB dongles, and a micro USB connector for charging the controller. While the Saturn wireless receiver obviously makes it compatible with any Sega Saturn, the USB receiver is what I found the most intriguing. It's compatible with not only a PC, but also with the Mister, and even a super gun using the undammed USB to DB15 adapter. It's really fun playing competitor console games with these, and using these on fully fledged arcade systems. Connecting them is very easy. Just put the USB or Saturn dongle into the console or device, hold down the button on the receiver, press start on the controller, and wait for the controller and receiver to show a solid light, and you're good to go. There seems to be a micro USB slot on the Saturn receiver itself, possibly to update the firmware on the receiver, and maybe to charge the Saturn wireless controller itself. It only came with a USB to micro USB cable, and I'm not sure the Saturn controller port has enough juice to charge the controller. In the meantime though, it's probably best to grab a USB phone charger and charge the controller that way. Retrobit was also kind enough to send us their Bluetooth controller for the Saturn, and both the 2.4 GHz wireless and Bluetooth controller for the Genesis. The Bluetooth controllers came in this cool slide-out design, where the actual box is in this sleek-looking case that lifts up and reveals its contents. Inside comes just the controller, instructions, and a micro USB cable for charging the controller. Moving on to the Genesis controllers, they have the same design as the original 6-button Genesis controllers, but it has replaced the mode button with 2 shoulder buttons, which feel really nice. Better than the Wireless Saturn shoulder buttons in my opinion. They connect the same way the 2.4 GHz and Bluetooth Saturn controllers connect, and they also are compatible in the same ways as well. You can even use your Saturn wireless receiver and connect the Genesis 6-button controller to it as well, effectively letting you play Genesis on Saturn. I ran into some issues connecting my Genesis wireless controllers using the Mega SD however, with the controls seeming non-responsive in the Mega SD menu. Connecting a wired Genesis controller from the menu and swapping out to the wireless controller when the game loaded worked, but seems like an unneeded workaround to be able to use the Mega SD with the wireless controllers. The Genesis controller also felt pretty unstable and unbalanced when using the shoulder buttons, causing me to fumble a bit when using the controller on a Saturn or a Mister. The D-pad seems to have been massively improved, making it a non-issue to get out my Shoryukens and Hadoukens with relative ease. However, like I was saying before with the Saturn shoulder buttons, they are super close to the originals, but I have some trouble using the shoulder buttons, seeming to either shudder or not respond at all when tapping it rapidly. The latency feels non-existent on these. Now, I don't have speedrunner-like reflexes and can't really comment on any lag in regards to timing perfect frames, but for casual play, and especially playing shooters on a CRT like Battle Garega, the lag feels just like a wired controller. More lag testing should really be done to verify this however, but this is a great controller for casual play and bench testing. Overall, I think these controllers are great to use and seem very reliable, despite issues with the Saturn shoulder buttons. They will make a great controller for any Saturn fan, and especially those using them for testing, playing on HD TVs, or even using them for emulators. You can pick these up at Amazon and Castlemania Games, with the Saturn and Genesis 2.4 GHz model selling for $34.99 US, and the Bluetooth controller selling for $30 US. Thanks for watching, and keep on playing Saturn.